Sorry to disappoint you about the claws, but what did you expect? So Logan was directed by James Mangold, the director that directed the 2013 Wolverine movie, which I thought was a good movie. So I was quite excited for seeing Logan. So I'm just gonna say right now, this is the Wolverine everyone has been waiting for. That's if everyone was expecting a Wolverine where they do not hold back on the blood and gore. And straight up from the beginning of the movie, you immediately see what the violence is like. And to top it off, they even leave blood on the claws. Another thing they didn't hold back on is the swearing, which was kind of concerning considering the old Charles Xavier has never sworn before. But it worked really well considering these characters are just done. Like, Charles Xavier and Wolverine have been through everything, and they've just had enough. Also, as you notice in the trailers, Wolverine isn't as strong as he used to be, and he's a bit more weak. And with these difficulties Logan is facing, it adds a lot more tension to the movie, as every hit Logan takes you can't help yourself but go, ooh, that's gotta hurt. And since these characters are a little bit more different and older, the actors had to do a bit of a different job, and they did it perfectly. Like, you really felt sorry for Charles Xavier and Wolverine, because you could feel their pain. They couldn't have made the exit for Hugh Jackman any better. Enough talking about these characters, let's talk about this character. Now, as you've probably seen in the trailers, she's the one that Logan and Charles have to protect. And, well, she doesn't really need that much protection. In fact, there was a couple moments where she had to run in and protect Logan. And I gotta say, acting wise as well for her, she did a great job as well. You also get a western feel while watching this movie, which makes sense because the director of this movie, James Mangold, directed the movie 3:10 to Yuma. Alright, so that's enough about the positives, let's talk about some of the negatives. There was some moments in this movie where it kind of took a dip. Especially halfway through the movie where there's like this whole road trip section. And it was more slow and not much was happening. It was just more character development scenes. But then at the same time, I liked these bits. It kind of went away from the ordinary superhero kind of format. And instead of it being more action driven, it's more story driven. And in fact, this movie kind of reminds you very much of the Christopher Nolan format for the Dark Knight movies. Just with a lot more blood and limbs flying off. And also, one time during the movie, I did find myself checking the time, but that was because I didn't want it to end. And so yeah, I checked my time and I was like, oh, half an hour left. And there were a couple other issues, but they're kind of spoilers, so I don't want to give them away. So overall, this was a great movie with barely any flaws, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give this film a 9 out of 10. I would definitely say this is worth your money going to see in the cinemas, and worthy of a piece of licorice. Alright, so let's move on to the spoilers. Sound the alarm! The rest of this video contains spoilers, so I would advise watching this part of the video if you haven't seen the movie. Unless you don't mind spoilers, in that case, go right ahead. Can't say I didn't warn you. For this section of the video, I'm going to have a guest. Hey. So the first thing that really surprised me was how both characters ended up dying in the end. Do you want to mention how Charles died in this next bit?
Oh, he got stabbed. It's like, that was the greatest, that was the most perfect night I had in a long time, but I don't deserve it, do I?
Yeah, and then he stabbed him in the chest.
Well, no, there was a thing he said after that, like he continued to sort of cry about it. No, he just continued to talk about that for a second, then he rolls over, and it's like, hey!
Yeah, he stabbed him in the chest.
But it was by Wolverine, but ain't the real Wolverine, because he's out elsewhere places. So, but they took Wolverine's DNA and cloned it, because he's the only match for Wolverine. So it's like, hey, we'll send another Wolverine, but Charles is dead now. Hey, there's a clone Wolverine, and they do a battle. It was good.
Yeah, and one thing I really liked about the battle too is that Wolverine was just getting his ass kicked, and it was like, oh god, he's just getting destroyed.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna slash you, there goes 50% of your HP. It's like, oh, I have no health potions left.
And then all the damage Wolverine was doing, it was doing nothing to him. Like, healed pretty much instantly.
Because the clone Wolverine is of like much younger age before
Exactly.
he was actually affected by the adamantium poisoning his system. So he's able to just heal instantaneously like he did in the previous movies.
And then, as you see in the movie, hopefully, unless you just get the whole movie
spoiler
spoiled for you. Yeah, unless you get the whole movie spoiled. And so in the end, you find out the girl just shoots him in the head with the adamantium bullet.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, so that's the clone Wolverine, not the proper Wolverine, because that was really sad how he died.
Oh, like, you spoke about the adamantium bullet he holds on him in the previous segment, didn't you?
No, because that's just kind of a spoiler, so we can talk about that now.
Logan holds, like, just has an adamantium bullet in his pocket. He's just holding on to, just to shoot himself in the head one day, just because he just wants to die at some point.
Yeah.
So, he just has that in his pocket, but at some point in the movie, the little girl actually takes that from him just as he like just goes back to sleep. So she has it on her, and then in the final battle where the clone Wolverine is fighting the real Wolverine, and he's obviously losing, and he actually gets sent on like a tree spike, and he's just about to get he's about to get decapitated or something like that. Like the girl just like grabs a revolver that's on the ground, puts that bullet in there, and then shoots the head of the clone Wolverine, and then dies instantaneously.
Yep, but pretty much.
He did.
Yeah, he did, for sure. One thing I also liked was the last line, Wolverine, or Logan, whatever, what he said. He said, this is how,
So this is how it feels.
Yeah, so this is how it feels. And, so, that's kind of open for interpretation, which was a cool last line, I felt.
Yeah, I took it as one way, Nathan took it in a completely different way. I thought it's because this is what, like, death felt like. Like, I changed it to pain, but I realized he's been feeling pain this whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like, this is like what death feels like, and he thought, like, this is what saving people feels like.
Yeah, I thought
saving
it was like
people
saving
again.
people, yeah.
Yeah, like, and both are fine. It's just that line is just open to interpretation to multiple people, and you never argue about it. You just discuss it. It keeps you just like, I saw it this way.
Yeah, which makes it interesting.
Made for two really epic battle scenes with Wolverine and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can get more brutal than that.
Another thing I thought was really sad right at the end, I actually nearly cried. Shut up! Right at the end, where they've dug his grave and they've put some rocks on top and such, and they put a cross up for him. And then the little girl goes back. What was her name? Do you remember? I know it was X-23.
Laura?
Yeah, that's ringing a bell.
It starts with an L.
Instead, so she stays back, and then she actually gets the cross and
Oh, she like
She gets the cross
takes
and
the cross
turns it
out of the
over.
ground and turns it like
to an X,
few
basically.
degrees and places it down and just says X on top of his grave.
Yeah, that was a really cool little addition into the movie.
I didn't almost cry, but I was in there like,
very clever.
that is very nice touch.
Yeah, it was a very sad ending, but it was good. It was good.
It's
like,
the best
the
ending
kids
you
are
could have
free.
gotten out of that, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, like the kids are free.
Also,
hopefully,
Wolverine's
and,
a zombie. Oh God, he's back for the dead.
Oh, that would really suck if, like, after the credits, you just see "Dun!" comes out of the ground. That would have been really stupid.
I'm back.
I would have been like, oh, I hate you, movie. Anyway, so what's the next bit? So we talked about the cross. We've talked about what else can we talk about? Charles.
Dead. Wolverine, Charles.
Alright, I don't know if this would be offensive.
The tracker guy that can track down mutants, and he.
Oh no, we'll talk about Charles' special power.
No, his seizure
really
wasn't a trigger thing. It's not his power.
No.
It's very accidental.
Yeah, it's not deliberate when he does it. No. But yeah, that was intense, especially the scene where Logan goes back to the hotel area and that everyone's just frozen and it's just stuff's going crazy, right? So anyway, there's this dude there like with this gun and he just like looks over like this and
we can quickly demonstrate this. Hang on. Imagine I've got the gun. I'll face this way so it's a bit better, so you can see my eyes. So you creep that way a little bit, and
just shift
like,
over.
and you're being like affected, like you can barely move, and you're trying to.
Oh, so I'm being Logan right now.
You're Wolverine.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right, so I'm just like coming along. Oh, that bit was good. And that bit was amazing.
That was a great demonstration.
That was bloody top notch. That was top notch. Like, there was one bit where you see the claws just go straight through this dude's face. It was like, oof.
Like straight up and through the cranium.
They really didn't hold back on the blood and gore. They just went all in. So basically, Wolverine and the girl, they're able to kind of withstand that kind of seizure moment thing. So that they're the only people that can stop him from
because they're
doing
mutants.
That.
Like,
Yeah,
have,
exactly.
Like supernatural, not supernatural abilities. Just
mutated
They're
abilities.
they're super. They're just
Okay.
stronger than the average human, so they're able to just crawl around, while everyone else that was normal, even everyone else that was in the hotel, like on the ground floor with all the casino, like the slot machines and all that, they were all completely frozen.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
no one could breathe either.
Also with Charles Xavier, as I noticed, he when with that thing ability, not really ability, like a curse more like it.
Yeah, he just
really
has
bad.
a seizure, but then he no longer just controls like his just breaking things.
Yeah, yeah.
I
he's-
can't explain what that is. Like, it's his power, but it's like all of a sudden he has a seizure and he's no longer actually able to control whatever his brain does. So then it just like he just goes into maximum effect and it just starts. It just freezes everyone. No one can breathe. It just locks everyone in place, and it just
Really brutal.
yeah.
With those powers, he actually seems like he ended up killing all the mutants, and they're the only ones alive. Well, but it seems the only ones alive. There's probably still a couple survivors out
Because
there.
like there was a thing on the radio that like a good portion of the mutants were killed at Xavier's school because he had the seizure, and then
Yeah.
like it went out for so long, and since no one expected it and no one had that sort of like the syringe thing on hand to stop it, it just affected everyone for so long. Eventually they all just died, and then once the seizure passed, or like someone stopped it, everyone just dropped dead.
Which is why he felt guilty when he was talking to what he thought was Logan.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, I guess he got stabbed.
Didn't he?
Ugh.
Didn't he do that 2 times though?
What?
He killed 2 sets of mutants from the seizure.
No, I think it was just
Or the
once.
second
That
one
was
was
the
like a
second
different one.
episode of it. The second episode was
okay.
in that hotel. Well, the episode that they know of.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a few other ones throughout
Okay.
the movie.
Yeah,
like
so
the
that's what
first
he was
one.
feeling guilty of right before the clone Logan stabbed him. That's why he was moping about in the bed.
Yeah. Now let's just take a way step back to right to the beginning, which it was really good how they just straight to the point with it. Like they're straight into it with the gore, and and how Logan's changed state is, where he's a lot weaker.
What you see on one of the hands,
One
like
of them, yeah.
one of the claws actually doesn't sheath out all the way. It's like halfway,
Yeah.
so he can barely just even get his claws out anymore.
Yeah, like there was actually an extra scene where he actually had to pull that other claw out to get it out to its
And he just
full
starts
capacity.
bleeding everywhere because it's
Yeah.
like cutting his skin a whole lot more.
Alright, so what's another thing we can mention? I guess we can start to mention about that other dude, the guy that's gets affected to the sun a lot. The tracker.
Like his abilities, like he can't be exposed to the sun. He's just got super white skin. If he
Yeah.
gets exposed to the sun, he burns like in vampires from say Underworld, like exactly like that.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's a good example.
But he can track down mutants. Like he just able to just like smell things like, hey, a mutant touched this, because he's able to just pinpoint exactly like what it is. But when it comes to humans and all that, he can't track it. It's just mutants specifically, and he's able to just nail down what's wrong like with someone. Like
Yeah.
just like sick inside, cause he had a major suspicion that Logan was poisoned very early on in the movie. When you actually after you first see this character, he points out that he's poisoned by something, because he's able to just notice that.
I like how they dragged it on too. How like you don't know what's wrong with him. You know he's kind of probably poisoned from something, but you don't know what until
they never,
kind
like-
of. How far in was
They
it?
never bluntly say adamantium is poisoning
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like they always just
Hinted
it's
it.
mildly hinted. At first, they mention it, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
But it's
you
just
don't
like
know what it is.
you get a tiny piece of the puzzle each time, and then by the end of it, like it's just like this big piece of the puzzle, but the rest of the puzzle is filled in just by your head in the moment. It's just like, oh yes, the thing. That's a good way to put it.
So the bad guys, don't expect them to be these mutant characters, except for the clone of Logan or Wolverine. The rest are just mercenaries, basically. You can pretty much just say they're mercenaries. They just, yeah.
It's not like the Black Clan in the Wolverine where
No,
it's like
no.
we're samurais, we're jumping black flips off
there's dudes
motorcycles.
with guns that just shoot at him. But what was a really good weapon of choice, actually, was the harpoon gun they used. That was a really effective tool of
Now. This was all clever. Like you first see it when the first fight scene with the girl shows up, where that it's
she
right
got
after
hooked
they
with it.
capture the tracker guy, after he tries to throw him on the side of the road, and then they just start invading Logan's home and they try and drive away, but like the girl just starts attacking people, and then Logan joins in the fight with his claws as well, and they start slashing people, but then someone just gets a harpoon gun and shoots the little girl straight through the back and just comes out of the chest. Oh, little girl. So it's like, this is weird.
It's pretty brutal, yeah.
And then she just snaps the front of it on and just takes the rest of it and then just keeps fighting because she heals the exact same way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she has 2 claws here and Can we talk about the toe blade?
Oh yeah, the
Like-
foot blade.
A blade comes out here for some reason.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though. I'll give it to them. Like, it was a really cool defensive mechanism, as what Charles Xavier says in one of the moments in the film when they're driving on the road.
Yeah, they're just driving on the road, and Charles explains just evolution of just like normal animals and how they attack.
Exactly.
Or just like the way like they're just their weapons in general, or just what they have. Like she has her pretty much front claws for like attack and all that. But when they're like sort of like lunge onto the ground like held down, they use like
Kick,
it's like when you just
basically.
it's like when you just have a cat, you just scratch its stomach too much and it kicks you away with the back
legs,
feet.
basically like
It's
that.
defensive.
Yeah.
It's the same way. She has the front claws for attacks, and when she's held up, just got both arms restrained, she just whips up her feet with this blade sticking out, and then she just stabs him, and then she's free again. She only uses it defensively throughout the whole film.
It's like kind of a surprise defense mechanism, basically.
Because they don't know about it. Because they just hold your arms like, this is what's been killing us the whole time. We're safe now.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about some of the other kids' mutations. Like the one with the ice breath.
There's a
That
lightning
was awesome.
there's a lightning kid. There's a ice breath, like little girl.
The arm bit, and it's just like, and then just.
There's a lightning kid.
You don't see much about his power. It like touches one of the trucks, and then this dude.
Yeah, like there's like a guy sitting up on top of one of the mounted guns on one of the trucks, and as soon as Logan and Laura start slashing up people, he just like touches the truck and then just electrocutes the bastard, which I thought was really clever.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Telekinetic kid.
There was 2 telekinetic kids.
There was 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that picks up all the sticks and that and just threw it at the
Oh,
two
there's
dudes.
3. Like
Damn.
so, there's one of the girls, like she just like lifts up all like these tiny sticks and leaves and pulls them off the trees above her and just sends them forward as this just like this massive gust of wind. You just a bunch of splinters just jam into their skin and just like the skin tears away, but it just forms a tornado around one of them, and then she just like whips him around at light speed, and then he just explodes.
Exploded into nothing. You can't get back from that.
So there's one
What's that?
telekinetic kid.
Yeah.
The second one was the kid that like one of the main villains.
Yeah, that guy.
He grabbed the harpoon gun. He was about to use it on Logan while like the second fight with the clone Logan like was taking place. He was going to use the harpoon gun on him. Oh no, he already harpooned his leg and he tied it to the truck and he was going to drive off. But then the kids show up and like one of the telekinetic kids like makes him hover, forces him down to the ground, and they all gang up on him. They freeze him. They tie him into the ground with all the leaves and the
That
grass.
was overkill.
They electrocute him. I think
Yeah, it was legit overkill. It was just.
he gets smashed. The
What
other
did you-
telekinetic kid was the one that got shot in the leg. Like at the very end, he's the one. Like he lifts up one of the giant like troop trucks and crushes the clone Logan
lands
with
on
it,
him,
but it didn't
yeah.
kill him at all.
It
Like,
didn't
he
do much,
He just
because it
lifted it
shifts
up
it.
and just ran out.
Oh, there was one with fire abilities when they're inside the lab, and the kid shot the fire.
But I don't know if he survived.
No, I don't know what happened to that dude. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's good about the kids. What did you honestly think about the villain? Like, he was fine.
Which
he had
one?
the main dude, the robot arm guy. The guy with the yellow glasses.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, okay, well, you didn't like him. I like some of the lines he said to Logan. They were kind of witty lines to him, I guess. There were some pretty cool lines in there. But, yeah,
He's not too memorable.
Yeah, he wasn't a very memorable
He's a
character.
throwaway villain.
Yeah, he was kind of cool, but yeah.
He was enough for this movie though.
Yeah, it was more
He was a
focused
douche.
on Logan's and, Xavier's and the little girl's story. It wasn't focused on the villains much, which I kind of liked. You didn't actually see much of Clone Wolverine either. Like, you never saw,
You only see him twice.
in these small little... How many fight scenes were there all together? There was quite a few.
One.
The real start one. And then the second one was when they escaped.
When you first see Laura fight, then there was the final one with Logan and all that.
And then there was a farm one.
There was the farm one, which is 5, 6.
Yeah, so pretty much 5. There might be another one, but yeah. Quite a few fight scenes. But they weren't very long ones, they weren't prolonged, but they were good enough size for the movie. It was really visually nice to this movie too. Like, there was a lot of... Especially
That was a
that
very good
starting
colour
scene,
grade.
like that blue grade they had in it. Kind of like that blue lighting.
Yeah, when it goes night, they have it look incandescent, blue for night, and then when it's day, it's a very deserty. You get
And
the
a
Mad
Mad
Max
Max.
orange, but desaturate that slightly, but with a bit more colours. In Mad Max, it was just orange.
Yeah, that's true. And they also, I think, had a little bit of a green grade when they were in the forest as well. especially when he was running up. There was a slight green. So what would you give this movie out of 10?
I'd give it 9. I have to figure out how many fingers I had to put up because I'm math good. I only take away the 1 point just because like it's not exactly my preference of film. It's just it did it so well. That's just like, hey, I'll give this a top-notch rating of what I can give for something that's not really my preference. I like robots and sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever given a movie a 10 out of 10. I don't think so. I don't know what I can say about that.
Guardians of the Galaxy's a 10.
Yeah, okay. You gotta, yeah.
McQuarrie movie comes out, that's 10 no matter what. Deserves one of these. I'm not gonna eat one.
I actually haven't.
Like licorice is disgusting. So no thanks.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you folks in the next one. The only time he ever does anything useful, I guess, with his powers in this movie is moving horses.